Hello viewers and welcome to yet another commentated match of Warhammer 40,000 Conquest. My name is Mitch and I am the Hive Tyrant, and today I'm pleased to bring you a very special video in which I'm actually joined by one of the First Planet podcast crew. Scott, why don't you introduce yourself?
Well, Mitch, I am Scott Armstrong from the First Planet podcast. I don't have my cohort Brian with me, but you'll do for now, I guess.
Well, very much appreciated. This is going to be a very special video today because we're actually going to be taking the co-pilot seat here. We're going to be watching Scott as he hopefully manages to pilot this Torquemada Coteaz deck to victory against John Wesley playing as the Orks Warlord Nazdreg. So, in regard to Mulligan, what's your assessment of your opening hand, Scott?
It's absolute crap, Mitch. I have 2 units on the left, totaling a grand total of 1 hammer. I've got a nice suite of events, but unfortunately, that's going to have to go away.
All right, well, let's get rid of that hot garbage and see how you did Mulligan-wise. So certainly many more army units, but what are your thoughts with this one?
It's okay. We've got Coteaz's Henchmen, 2 of them, which is a really strong card. Obviously, works with Coteaz. Rallying Deadeye is a good command unit. Listing Assault Team is good for surprises. Mystic Warden works with Staging Ground. We don't have that right now, but it's also a good, almost like a stalling play. And Katachan and Preemptive Barrage. Preemptive Barrage with 2 of Coteaz's Henchmen can be quite powerful when you give Coteaz range as well.
Well, definitely. And you've got the initiative token. It's your turn for our first round's deploy action. So what are you going to be playing?
I like to, when I have a good amount of resources and cards, I'm going to go with Katachan first. The reason being is it's a deployment stall, yeah. And I can more react to where he's going to put his command structure.
Sure. So it looks like we see a Crush Face put out by John to planet number 1, decreases the cost of each subsequent Orc unit at that planet. It's likely he's going to be deploying heavily there to Karnath, trigger the battle ability of any other planet in play. It could be deal a damage to a planet adjacent to planet 2 or an HQ. He could move a unit. He could do Taurus's gain cards or resources based on unit count ability, and then Yavharn. So probably not the best options for him, but what's your follow-up play?
Well, looking at the planet layout, I might try and go for the bully win, because there's blue, blue, blue in the first 3 planets.
Right.
I have initiative on 2 of those, and I know this first planet I can probably win with Henchmen and Preemptive Barrage.
Sure.
So I'm going to put a Henchman down there.
All right. Well, we'll have to see what John ends up playing in response. Hell, I mean, we even see a lot of red icons, so we could see a victory as early as planet number 4, even without blue, just through red. But Enraged Orc to planet number 2, that's going to be a little bit frustrating. That's at least going to be on a planet where he has the initiative, but I suppose, what's your response?
I think, again... Let's see. He has 2 resources left. I'm going to play... I think I'm going to have to go with another Coteaz's Henchman to the first planet.
Okay.
I'm thinking that way. I'm probably going to send Coteaz there. I'm going to keep my Rattling Deadeye to put for command later on. I'd probably planet 4. I also have the option to play Mystic Warden on planet 2 just as a deployment stall, so hopefully he plays out the rest of his resources, which he just did.
Sure.
Then I can play Mystic Warden, so he took that planet I wanted.
Yeah, so Sanctioned Psyker's sitting at Taurus, and I guess in assessing unit count, currently your opponent's a little bit higher than you are, but that could certainly change by the time we get to Taurus.
I think Rattling Deadeye, I'm going to pop down here.
Okay.
Just for the command point there. I'm thinking he's probably going to pass or play a promotion. Either way, I'm okay with both.
Sure.
He could have a Sanctioned Psyker himself, because he's allying that way. Reduced it by 1.
Yeah, so he throws out that zero-cost shoot-a-mob to the first planet, and now that's going to make things a little bit more difficult for you. It's nice that Coteaz's henchmen have 3 hit points, and neither of his units are going to be able to outright kill yours. You do have that preemptive barrage if Nazdreg touches down to do brutal.
Yeah, I think right now I'm gonna pass. I have the Alyssany Assault Team as a combat trick. Mystic Warden I think I can use later on. And I still have the Preemptive Barrage with 1 resource, so
Sure.
I'm gonna pass. And my plan right now, depending on what he deploys, I don't know he's gonna deploy much more. Yeah, there we go. So I'm gonna go to Planet 1.
Well, I guess where are you expecting Nazdreg to end up going?
If he goes to Planet 1, I'm totally okay with that because I think I can bloody him first round, which is really nice. Planet 3. Snipe me off.
Sure.
I am A-okay with that, actually.
Yeah, I guess it's definitely not too much lost. It's a bit of a shame you couldn't get that early game bloodying and perhaps a subsequent kill at some point, but hopefully you'll be able to make quick work of these orcs at planet number 1. And I guess you ended up getting a grand total of 1 card, 1 resource relative to John's 3 cards, 3 resources.
Yes.
But how are you feeling about what you drew?
Catachan Outpost, I'm okay with that. It kind of fuels, I can play the Mystic Warden for free, and then I have a 4 swing from Catachan, double Catachan. I'm okay with that.
Well, for sure. And then I guess, what are your thoughts moving into battle? What are you nervous about? What are you anticipating doing?
I think I'm just gonna basically wipe his board here. I'm pretty sure.
All right.
So let's check if any actions before battle starts. All right, so here's the wombo combo. So we play Preemptive Barrage. We target him, him, and him.
So they all gain range.
So now they all gain ranged. So the thing with this is Coteaz can sacrifice his units, would have already swung as ranged, to then swing again.
Right.
So we'll start with a 1-point swing at the shoot 'em up.
Right. And your opponent has 6 cards, so let's see how many shields he has.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious, is he going to is he going to just waste a bunch of cards as shields, or is he basically going to accept his fate? Quite humorously, John mentions in the chat log here that he's going to need an umbrella from all the shit that's about to rain down on him. So, a very perceptive statement, and it looks like that shoot-em-mob is outright destroyed. You get to take a subsequent follow-up swing to Crush Face. I guess I'm not really aware of any kind of orc event that he could possibly have to try and block this. Maybe something like a suppressive fire, but that's really just delaying the inevitable, I guess.
Maybe, yeah. And if he lets this all go, then it's quite an easy victory for me. And then I have these combat tricks again with the Coteaz's henchmen.
Right. If you need not, sacrifice any of your units, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, so it looks like he discarded a battle cry in order to negate the 2 attack value from Torquemada Coteaz that you used, thanks to the Catachan outpost here. And now it looks like you are going for the sacrifice. So Coteaz is going to be swinging for 3. This is all still during the ranged round. And unless we see, I guess, another 2 shield icon card, Crush Face is going to be destroyed. So the opponent ditched their battle cry, but he at least got rid of one of your henchmen, so it's looking like Karnath is yours. What ability are you going to trigger?
See, I didn't think this far along. I control equal amount to him, which I'm happy about. Do I want to put something into play? No, I don't. Move a warlord or unit of my choice. That would actually probably be a good one. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to target Planum. And I am going to move.
I suppose you could save your rattling, or you could make sure you're...
I think I might save my rattling.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
let's do that.
Yeah, I guess the opponent is going to have initiative the following rounds. That enraged orc it would have potentially had to swing first for 0, but I guess I'm just curious if the opponent's really going to do anything to stop your onslaught here. But it looks like we've got a combat at Planum. I suppose no tricks or anything like that from you?
None at all.
Okay, well, looks as though Nazdreg has left and he decides to shift over his enraged orcs. So that's going to be a potentially game deciding planet. It's your victory condition, at least your earliest one, and that's going to be a planet where you've got the initiative, so he'll at least. Well, I assume he's going to play additional units at some point, but that enraged orc won't have the initiative at that planet. But our new planet number 5 is going to be Iridial, which removes damage from units. Both players got 4 resources. They drew 2 cards. Your opponent has 7 resources, 7 cards. Their warlord is still entirely Hail. They have the initiative token, and they put out the teleporta pads, so they can basically just opportunistically move any orc unit of their choice to the first planet, kind of drop pod assault style, get in a surprise attack. But what are you thinking for your deploy action?
Again, I have enough money to do this, so I'm going to play another Catachan. It doesn't get me great command on the board, obviously, because it's a support.
Sure.
But it's a threatening presence either way. So I mean, my Rattling Deadeye can swing for 5 on the first round.
Right.
So.
And it always helps with Coteaz, since he's got that base attack power 0. But it looks like a Rattling Deadeye is put out by your opponent, and he ends up putting that on Iridial. So that's going to be 1 card potentially for him. That's nowhere near any player's victory condition. And I suppose it's back to you.
Now I'm trying to decide whether I want to place a Shoot-a-Mob to contest that one at the far end, or I could also play the Sanctioned Psyker on Planet 2.
Right.
Sanctioned Psyker is really good in this deck because it's got enough hit points to probably take a hit, and then can Catachan back, and then sacrifice for Coteaz. So I think that's what I'm going to do.
Well, and resources are definitely starting to be a bit of a commodity for you. Your opponent did take advantage of Crush Face at least a time or two. I've never noticed the Dark Eldar Raider in the background of the Sanctioned Psyker artwork before. But in any case, your opponent puts out a copy of Promotion attached to their Enraged Orc. Their 3 command icons trumps your 2. You've only got 1 resource left. The opponent has 4. Anything left, or...
Yeah, I think I'm trying to decide whether I want to put Shoot-a-Mob at the first planet or not.
Because he could shift in his enraged orc to make sure that he's able to win. Are you anticipating like bullying the first planet with Coteaz again?
I think so. I mean, I think that's just how Coteaz best works.
Okay. And is there anything in particular you're hoping for to draw during the command phase?
I mean, I wouldn't mind... Mitch, you're distracting me. It's horrible. I'm gonna... Oh, jeez. Yep, I'm gonna put Shoot 'em up here. I gotta go with my plan to bully. I wouldn't mind drawing another preemptive barrage, because that's always hilariously fun. More or less, this deck... Oh, jeez.
So John calls out, "I'm sorry." He does a Biga is Beta, puts a Weird Boy Maniac into play, and that's going to be 1 damage to each other unit present at planet number 1, which is, of course, your Shoot-a-Mob, your Rattling Deadeye, and you don't have a tremendous number of shield cards in your hand, but how do you want to respond to this?
I think I have to shield my Rattling Deadeye. That Shoot-a-Mob can take it.
Right.
And, yeah.
Well, you've definitely got those 2 Catachan outposts. You'll be able to attack during ranged. Let me take a moment to correct. The Maniac itself doesn't take damage. And I suppose...
he played Bigga is better. Yeah.
Oh, my mistake. So you're entirely right. So I'll just correct my error. And now we're, I suppose, good to go. But... Any additional actions?
Yep. Weird Boy Maniac. Or, sorry, not Weird Boy. Mystic Warden. Also weird.
Okay, and then I guess it all just comes down to what else is our opponent going to put out. We see a Nazdreg's Flash Gets to planet number 1, so that's going to be, I can only imagine, a very high priority target for your Deadeye to potentially kill off.
I think so.
Yeah, multiple attacks from that would be absolutely horrifying. So we've still got that teleporta pad in play. I suppose for Warlord, are you thinking planet number 1?
You gotta. I've gone into the... This is kind of like a... What I've chosen is to go bully the first planet. And unfortunately, once you commit to that...
Right.
It's
kind of an all-in strategy.
Yeah.
Sure. And then any thoughts for where Nazdreg might go, apart from, well, I guess the first planet?
Yeah, he's gonna go there. He could honestly go anywhere, and then come in with teleportapad.
Right.
So look at that command loss. Oh goodness, it
Yeah.
stings.
Well, hopefully you'll be able to have, provided enough early game pressure that you don't end up burning yourself out in your all-in strategy here.
Here's hoping.
Yeah. So 0 resources, 1 card for Scott going into this battle. He's got an Elysian Assault team, and we see the opponent with 3 resources, 5 cards. He could have any number of those incredibly devious orcish tricks that players are so fond of. But looks like you're using both outposts on the Deadeye.
Yep, and I'm gonna double Catachan into his flash kits.
Sure. So you're swinging for 5, unless he happens to have like a double shield icon card.
Which he very well he may be able to.
Right, but at the very least that potentially stops it from readying itself, and he just accepts it, so the flash kits are gone.
And so the key thing here is I'm gonna say I have an action, and I'm gonna sacrifice this guy to Coteaz.
Sure.
So that Coteaz is ready and willing to go when he needs to swing.
Right, so he's going to be able to attack for 3, potentially before your opponent has a chance to kill off that Deadeye.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Weird Boy Maniac exhausts, and he's taking a swing at your exhausted Coteaz henchman for a grand total of 3 because of Nazdreg.
Yep.
And it looks like there's absolutely nothing you can do about that one.
Except drop in those guys.
Right. So they're a 2-1 at least. That's definitely nice to see. Nazdreg is the only ready orc, so are you just going to swing at Nazdreg? And
I think that's what I'm gonna do.
But which of your units?
I don't think it really matters as far as whether it's going to be Coteaz or the Mystic Warden.
Sure. So Nazdreg ends up with 2 points of damage. The opponent still has 5 unknown cards in hand. And I suppose, what is Nazdreg going to do? He decides to take a swing at your Mystic Warden. You have no cards in hand, so there's no opportunity for you to shield, which is definitely a bit of a damn shame.
Yep.
Now, I guess Coteaz can take a swing.
Let's push our luck.
Okay, so 3 damage going on to Nazdreg, potentially, and let's see what to expect in regard to shields. All 3 points of damage are indeed dealt, and that's going to bring us to the end of the combat round here. So are you going to stay or retreat based on, I guess, your opponent has to decide first?
Yeah. I'm going to stay. Coteaz is swinging for 3 now. So I can probably bloody Nazdreg. He didn't use a 2 shield card on his flash gits. And if he had, he'd be swinging for 5. Yeah, so
Right.
he's
So
leaving.
Nazdreg retreats, but not the Weird Boy Maniac. So I'm curious as to if your opponent maybe has a single shield card, just because if he can spare the Maniac's life, I guess there's nothing you can do to augment Coteaz's attack value. So he swings for 2. Coteaz takes 2 points of damage. And now let's see what your opponent has in regard to shields.
If he has a shield, he wins this one.
And Aatrox Prime is on the line, so he could blast your HQ or he could take a shot at Planum. So it's all... And we actually see the Weird Boy Maniac
No!
killed. But no assault team.
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of frustrating. But he also could have moved in the Enraged Orc, so it's kind of a bit of a pain in the ass either way. But I suppose no actions from you, and now the assault team's going to be able to put another couple points of damage onto Coteaz. And I guess at this point, any option other than just retreating?
Nope, that's it.
All right, and I guess let's see where Aatrox Prime fires. And he says 1 damage to HQ.
Yeah.
So now that 8 hit point Warlord has 5 points of damage. Granted, Iridial is currently planet number 5, but that was our one and only combat this round. We're about to go into the HQ phase, and let's hope for your sake you end up drawing some solid gold.
Oh, man. All right. And turn.
All right, so 4 resources, 2 cards for both players. Your opponent's now sitting at 7 resources, 6 cards. You got a Rattling Deadeye and a Goth Boys. So what's the strategy for trying to salvage that last combat that didn't go as well as you were hoping it would?
It's going to be tough. I mean, one of the options I do have is to, again, go to Planet 1. Let's see. I will have fewer units, so I could try to go to Taurus. It's looking pretty rough, Mitch, not going to lie.
Sure.
So, what do you say we go full-on bully?
Well, I suppose that certainly works. You've got the Goth Boys that's attacking for 3. You've got that Rattling Deadeye, which is another ranged attacker. He doesn't have anything too tremendously daunting. He's got a lot of resources, so I'm just very curious to see what all he can put into play. Your opponent only happens to have 1 red material icon, so the earliest that he can win the game is going to be Yvonne, current planet number 3. But along those same lines, it looks like with your 1 technology icon, the earliest you could win is also going to be Yvonne if you end up taking these next 3 planets. But a Rattling Deadeye to a Rogue Trader to planet number 5 from your opponent, you do that Goth Boys to planet number 1, and I suppose in like best case situation, how are you hoping the rest of this game plays out?
Well, one option I have is to try and make him think I'm going to go to the first planet. And hopefully he goes somewhere else, and then I can possibly snipe off planet 5.
Sure. Well, it looks like we see a Biga is Beta to put an Enraged Orc into play for free. It's got 1 point of damage, so it's attacking for 1. It's still got 4 hit points. Elowith is our current planet number 5, so that could be a couple cards for you, denying the same to your opponent, potentially killing off their Rogue Trader, doing that tutoring effect. So I'm very curious to see how everything pans out. You, of course, pass. Now, the opponent still has 6 resources, 3 cards. It looks like they're very much set up for another favorable command phase. They do a second copy of the Nazdreg's Flash Gets, and that is going to be a big bit of a problem. No matter where they put it, they could, toss it out for command and then relocate it with that teleportapad. But they do have it at planet number 2.
Teleportapad is a really undervalued card, I think, in the community. Yeah, look, another one.
Ouch.
I mean, it's one of the strongest combat tricks, I think. It rivals that of the Space Marines, and it makes combat math very, very difficult.
Sure. I think probably just my favorite part about it is you don't need to use it unless maybe just the opportunity happens to present itself, and unless, I guess the Star Wars quote, "It's not so clumsy or random as a drop pod assault," kind of jumps into my mind here. It's that, pinpoint precision. If there's no enemy units at the first planet, you could just warp in a sniveling grot or something like that. So
I think because of how he's set up, like, this is going to be a very tough battle no matter what. I think this game is over. I'm pretty confident in saying that. The teleportapads make my plan of going to the last planet kind of moot.
Sure.
Because he can come to the first planet and just wreck face.
Right.
So I think I am forced to go to the first planet again.
All right. Well, I suppose let's see how things pan out. I guess in regard to command icons, you two do happen to be tied at the present moment at the first planet. If he sends Nazdreg to the first planet, then he'll basically just tie you. But he sends Nazdreg to planet number 5, so I guess he'd maybe been anticipating your move there. Of course, he brings that Elysian Assault team with him. You do get to win 1 card, 1 resource.
Woo!
And your opponent wins ever so slightly more than that. So 4 cards and 3 resources. You got an Iron Guard recruit, so I'm sure that's exactly what you were hoping to see.
Perfect.
And now there's just a lot of teleportapad nastiness with which to expect. So, Nazdreg is very much a tier 1 unbeatable warlord, so I suppose it's not the end of the world seeing him actually win for once. So that's a little bit heartening there, but let's see how these things play out. There's going to be a battle at planet number 1 and a battle at planet number 5. And I guess let's see what to expect from our orc.
All right. So I have the ranged priority here. So I am going to... See, it's interesting because he's got 5 health, and I want to eliminate it. Because if I put it all on the Rattling Deadeye, that's 5.
Right.
Then sacrifice him to Coteaz, that's 3.
And the opponent does have 5 cards in hand,
Yeah.
and even a single shield is going to be
Mm-hmm.
problematic.
Well, let's do one of those. Let's do two. Let's force his hand.
Sure. I was thinking, just kind of either way, you're going to be stuck attacking it for 3 or something at some point. So big, nasty attack, incoming attack, and I guess he just lets it all through. So the enraged orc is killed. He must be saving shield cards, presuming he has some, for some of his other units. Certainly, we've seen a lot of events. He used both copies of his Biga is Beta. He used a battle cry. He's got 2 supports out.
I wonder if he's going to move.
All right, so
and now I have an action.
Enraged orc. Yep, and what's a bit of a shame about this is that Enraged Orc might be sitting at, 4 damage tokens by the time you get to, by the time it gets to take a swing.
Well, it's his swing now. Oh, no,
Even though you've got the initiative.
No, yeah, you're right.
Right. Yeah. So, again, just showing how powerful these teleporta pads can be.
Oh, goodness. An Enraged Orc.
I suppose you could swing with your Sanctioned Psyker?
It's the only option.
Yeah. Just definitely want to avoid that
I was like,
damage.
well, I that's all I can do.
Right. I mean, it's easy for me to just completely forget that these even exist, because under normal situations, they don't do anything.
I've used that a few times, and I was trying to figure out the math if I could make it better, but it's not. That's...
So interesting that he's choosing to attack with the Enraged Orc as opposed to bring in a different Orc unit with Teleporta Pad. I feel like that may be a little bit suboptimal. But I guess the Enraged Orc takes a swing at your Goth Boys, doesn't quite manage to kill it. Again, very much a surprising effect, especially given that you've only got 1 card in hand. I suppose personally, I'd have tried to bring in those Flash Gits and deal out some damage that way.
Well, I think we're going to have to use the Goth Boys while we can.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure he's going to bring in his Flash Gits. Seems like a... Oh, there you go. Because the Flash Gits are gonna win the round for him, for sure.
Right. So he calls out any action, and I suppose, are you going to get rid of the Goth Boys or leave Coteaz there? Well, I suppose he's triggering his teleporta pad. He indeed moves over those Flash Gits, and he's about to take his swing. And is it... I can only imagine it'll be Coteaz. It's going to be an attack for 2... So maybe Coteaz, maybe the Goth Boys, just because Coteaz, doesn't have any attack at all, so...
Coteaz currently has 3.
Oh, from the Deadeye.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Yeah, so the Flash Gits do kill off your Goth Boys, and now it's all going to be up to Coteaz. I suppose, where would you swing?
I think I have to kill the Enraged Orc. And the reason being is I kill the Enraged Orc, and then I can sack the Sanctioned Psyker to Coteaz to give him 3 to hit the Flash Gits. It's my only option. I think if he slow plays it, I'm waiting for him to make a mistake, essentially, is what's going on here. So, and I do have first swing next round.
All right, so Coteaz takes a swing at that Enraged Orc, and it's outright destroyed.
Oh, GG.
And it's replaced by another Elysian Assault team. So it looks like you sacrifice your Sanctioned Psyker just to augment Coteaz's attack. And he readies his Flash Gits. Interesting. So he's going to be swinging for 2. The Elysian Assault team takes a swing for 2, and you're, of course, forced to basically just eat that damage. And
we're going to go ahead and bloody this guy.
Yeah, so between the Flash Gits, between the Elysian Assault team, Coteaz is outright bloodied. He's now a 1/6, but he's definitely not going to be doing much for you. I'm very curious to see how our headquarters phase is going to end up going, but looks like that battle ability at Elowith is going to be going to your opponent, and at this point, it's looking like things are going to be an absolute nightmare. So Planum relocates that Nazdreg's Flash Gits to planet number 3, and things are looking entirely unsalvageable at this point.
Yeah, I think I'm going to see the HQ phase, and then it might just be a concede. It's at the point where, yeah, my gamble didn't work. He had quite a number of tricks up his sleeve, more so than Coteaz could handle. So
definitely. I certainly can't blame you at all if you do end up throwing out the towel there. I suppose who knows what exactly your opponent drew thanks to Elowith, but he's got 4 resources, 5 cards relative to your 3 resources and 1 card. And you see an Emperor Protects and a Shoot a Mob.
Yep, that's GG, sir.
All right. Well, excellent play on part of John Wesley. Thank you to him for allowing me to record. So absolutely spectacular seeing Nazdreg win a match. He was able to best the very dangerous Torquemada Coteaz. I guess just in reflecting upon this match, what would have had to happen to cause things to go differently, Scott?
I think off the beginning I lacked the command units that I've put in, Sanctioned Psychers, the recruits, promotions. I lacked a lot of command, and that starts to really snowball in Nazdreg's favor.
Sure.
He had quite a couple key draws, I think, with the Weird Boy Maniac was quite a strong play.
Right.
Getting 2 teleporter pads out there, that's really strong. And I mean, the combination of Orks with Guard can be quite strong.
Definitely. I mean, for perhaps one of the first times I've managed to witness it, the Orc players was able to set up a pretty spectacular just command presence on the board. They were able to leverage what combat tricks they had, those teleporter pads, even though they didn't get used often when they were. It was just a spectacular effect. He was lucky enough to get a lot of early game resource ramping thanks to those Biga is Betas in conjunction with Crush Face and that powerful command presence. So just pretty decent play on part of John, and looks like things didn't quite come together for you, but I suppose, Scott, thank you so much for affording me this opportunity. And I guess before I close things out, do you want to go ahead and plug your podcast real quick?
Well, I'm not sure anyone's going to want to listen to it after this display of garbage, but it's First Planet Podcast. We're on Facebook, iTunes, and Card Game DB. Brian and I try to maintain a bi-weekly show pace, I guess you could say.
Right.
Yeah, take a listen.
Well, I can't recommend it enough. I've been on a couple episodes myself, and it's always a blast. So, thank you so much, Scott. And to all you viewers out there, I'll just say, as ever, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed these videos, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to this channel if you've not done so already. Or if you are already subscribed, you're always encouraged to share this content. As the more people there are that stumble upon games like this one, the more people might ultimately try Conquest, like what they see, join our community, and of course send the message to Fantasy Flight Games to continue to support this fantastic product. If at any point you'd like to get in touch with me, feel free to do so through Twitter or on Facebook. If you'd like to have a game of your own, recorded, spectated, and commentated, I'm always out looking for players. And of course, if at any point you feel like donating $1 or $2 a month to the Hive Tyrant's cause to help me recoup and recover some of my file hosting and operating expenses, I'm also available on Patreon. But once again, thank you so much for watching, and as always, be sure to check back in again soon for ever more Conquest LCG content to come.